Jerry Fasky, Fontaines, World Karate Champion, and this is the video and audio rendition of the book on sport karate, ABCs of Sparring. So the first concept, of course, is based on the fact that you got to have the proper mind in order to win in any endeavor whatsoever. So first thing we're going to talk about is attitude. If you conquer your mind, your body follows. So that's one of the most important parts of fighting. Most people think that fighting is based on physical attributes, and of course, obviously, those are important. However, it's even more important that you believe in the fact that you are going to be a winner. I learned the concept from Tony Robbins and actually Stephen Covey, who wrote very successful books, on beginning with the end in mind. So if you would picture yourself as if you was already as good as you can be, you would be able to work your way backwards and eventually have that work happen in real life. So there's a little story I'm going to tell you, and the story is based on, as a matter of fact, you was in the race. The story is called The Big Race. And in the big race, they were given the big prize. And there was over 1 million people that entered in this big race. So what happened was that since it was a big race, everybody wanted a big prize. People rested and they worked out, and it wasn't just based on speed or strength or anything else. It was based on also timing. So once the race was off, everybody got it going, and you won. It was called the race of life. And your gift was being born, because anyone that's born was born to be a winner. And a lot of times we forget that. So whatever sport it is, you have to understand that you must begin with the end in mind, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, or anything else like that. So make sure that you understand that. Okay, so beginning and end in mind is not the only thing, but it is the first thing. If anyone's ever seen me compete, you see that right before I fight, I get myself in the proper state of mind. The same exact way as if I was getting ready to walk on fire. Because I'm a fire walker. I'm also a skydiver. So, in order for you to properly walk on fire without getting burned, you would actually have to put yourself in the proper state of mind. Now, I'm not recommending you guys to walk on fire, but what I am saying is that if you conquer your mind, your body follows. So on that note, please understand that it's the A, and A is for attitude. So, directly after the A, I'm going to go into the B, and that'll start in just about a few seconds. If you give me, actually, this one here, if you gave me 5 is enough. Okay, so after A, obviously it's B. And what's B? B is basics. Basics. The first basic I would like to go over is the simple fact that you must know how to do footwork. If they can't touch you, they cannot hurt you. No matter how hard somebody hits, if they can't touch you, they can't hurt you. So let's go over some basic footwork. Okay, so now, of course you want to keep your hands up, and the best block in the world is not being there. So if you're fighting with a left guarding stance, your hands will be up. If you're fighting with what I consider a universal posture, your front hand is down to eliminate the target area. Now, if you're fighting with your rear hand down and your front hand up, it still does the same thing. It eliminates the target area. This was originally done by a good friend of mine named Richard Plowden. So I call it the Plowden stance. This is the Plowden stance. This here is called the universal stance. This is your basic boxing, or possibly in your karate, where they show you how to stand like this. And then this will be done whether your right leg is in front or your left leg is in front. So again, boxing, universal, Plowden. Now you would notice that some of the top martial arts sport karate players of all time have also done what I consider the measure stance, where you would actually bend down on the lower and reach out with the front hand for the purpose of gauging distance. You might have seen this in boxing, where a boxer will put the hand out, measure the person, and then eventually let loose of an actual blow. So before even going into the other basics, the most important part, I believe, is for you to understand that there is a variety of ways for you to put your hand in position, as opposed to just one way. The idea is to have options and being flexible. Okay, so once we got the stances going, the next thing is to move, because obviously we don't want to just stand there. So, an easy way to remember how to move will be looking at an actual clock. Not a digital clock, of course, but a clock that has number 12 in the top, 6 in the bottom, 3 and also 9, or vice versa. So, you move the foot closest to the direction where you want to go. So if you wanted to go forward, you move your front foot first. If you wanted to go back, you want to move your back foot first. If you want to go to the right, you move your right foot first. And if you want to go to the left, you move the left foot first. It's extremely important that you have what is considered balance, which will also be, right? You got to have balance. Because without balance, even if you make contact, you will end up falling. And that's not a smart thing. We want to prepare ourselves for any given situation, whether it's in a tournament aspect of fighting or even in the street. So I do not recommend us throwing ourselves on the floor. A lot of people don't have these basics in footwork, so that's the reason why they, at times, instead of moving out the way, they throw themselves onto the ground. Not highly recommended. Okay, so again, here we go. And you guys can do along with me. Now I know, in your case, 12 o'clock will be behind because you're facing me. This is my 3 o'clock, that's your 9 o'clock. But I'm going to use my clock, meaning because I'm looking directly at you. And that's what I want you guys to do. You can put your hands up in any posture that you feel comfortable, whether it's crowded, universal, boxing, or basic, and also measure. But if you notice, my back foot here is in what's called a trigger position. In order for you to be able to move at maximum speed, you will have to eventually get into what's called a trigger. You can go from a flat foot position, but before you can actually move or any type of speed, you will have to eventually get on your toes. So if you start there, then it will definitely help you. Okay, so we'll do this really quick. You go to 12 o'clock, and then back to the center of the clock. You go to 6 o'clock, back to the center of the clock. Okay, let's try it again. In this case, we'll do your clock. Come towards me, 12, and then back to center. I'll go towards you. 6, and back to center. Okay, now I'm going to my 3 o'clock, okay, which is your 9 o'clock. Ready? You go over to the side, and then back to center. Then the opposite, to the left, your case is right, and back to the center. Seems a little confusing, but the easiest way to remember is that if you're going to your left, you move your left foot first. If you're going to your right, you move your right foot first. Practice that, and that will be the foundation for the best block in the world, not being there. In a few minutes, a few seconds, I'll be back, and I'm going to show you how to properly use this B, basic, in order for you to score. Okay, now that we know how to tell time, what direction to go towards, now what we can do is work on a combination of footwork that I learned from a very, very incredible martial artist, good friend of mine, and was voted the best fighter of all time by most of the top fighters. His name was Joe Louis. Now I participated in the Joe Louis seminar back in 1986, and actually, excuse me, 1985. Wow, I'm showing my age. However, it was a little difficult initially because I was never taught this. I want you guys to follow me. Say the words: left, right, left, left, and then right, left, right, right. Now, I know this is not the way you should fight in terms of facing someone squared off. However, what I do want you to do is work on the direction. So again, it's left, moving your left foot first, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Now we're going to do it a little faster now, and this will be the rhythm. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Okay, now, if you put the left leg in front, it's the same exact concept. It's left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. One more time. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Now, if the left leg's in the back, it's the same exact sequence. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Again, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Now, it may take you a few times to rewind and review this like it took me. However, eventually, you'll get it just like this. And it goes left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Basically, you're saying, good luck in trying to hit me. So you're creating like a cross. What it does is that it helps you with what's called lateral movement. One of the common mistakes is that most people fight in terms of clock and time again towards 12 o'clock and they retreat to 6 o'clock. So it looks something like this. Forward, forward, back, 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 back. Forward, 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 back, 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 back. The second someone goes to 9 or 3 o'clock, instantly your opponent thinks he disappeared, so they usually throw themselves on the floor. Not one of the recommended things to do. So, there is another option. You're still in the center of a clock, but this here is called pivots. You're competing, or you're fighting with this person, your hands are down, the posture doesn't really matter, and what you do is this. They're coming at you, and you would actually, staying in the same clock, turn towards 3 o'clock, and then back. So the opponent's coming directly at you, and you would actually turn and have them miss you by the way you shifted. You can even get to the point where you completely turn to 6 o'clock. Now, if you've ever done any type of judo, jiu-jitsu, you know that these are basics in terms of how to get out of the way. In Japanese, they call it tai sabaki, which is called a side step. So an opponent will come directly towards you, and you will shift, have the person move, and you can actually throw a technique after that. Okay, so now, again, as a quick review, the left-right drill, do it along with me. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left. You getting it? Right. I know it's confusing, but you get it. Left, right, right, left, right, left, left, and left. Okay, good. Now, from here, you come at me. If I go back, you continue coming. If I move to the side, you will miss me. Right leg in front, same thing. Now, in a little while, I'm going to show you how to actually apply that, but we're still working on B. And B are basics. We're going to take a little break so you can practice this. And then when you feel comfortable with it, you turn this tape back on, and we'll take it to the next level. See, I'm sure just like initially, you guys got confused. You was going to your left and you move your right foot. That's a no-no. Reason being, if you go to the left and you move your right foot, at this point here, you have minimum amount of balance. That's a no-no. Remember that? A lot of no-nos. So you go to your left and you move your right, and you move to the right, left. No, that's a dance. That's another tape. We're not doing like this in this tape. So please, as a review, you go into the left, you move your left foot first. If your left foot moves 6 inches, your right foot moves the same amount of distance, not any more or any less. Because if you do that, then you're going to eradicate your base. You're going to have less balance. And just for a barometer, it's approximately, meaning your feet, or approximately shoulder width. In terms of length, that all depends on your ability and your flexibility in your hips. So everybody has their own personal distance. Okay, enough of that. You're going to practice it, and then hopefully, definitely, you're going to improve on this. Make sure you guys write me and visit the website, www.fastfeet.com. So here we go. We're going to punching now. Common challenges with punching normally are either, and this is a no-no, we'll start with a no-no, lifting the elbow when you want to go towards the target. Does not make too much sense. However, quite a few people do it. Now do it on the angle. I want to hit this target here. I lift my elbow in order to go forward. Well, I believe that if you're going to move your elbow 6 inches, it should be either 6 inches towards the target or 6 inches towards the target. That's it. Not 6 inches up, back, and circular. That's called pitching. We don't want to do this. That's a big no-no. So the yes is plain and simple. You're here, you go directly towards the target and back. Towards the target and back. Or it can be done from a universal posture towards the target and back. Towards the target and back. Now if you notice, when I'm doing my offensive technique, I also have a defensive posture, meaning a block. You do not want to block with your face. Not recommended. So do put the opposite hand up. Okay, now if I was in what's called the plowing stance, I am again going to keep this elbow tight to eliminate the possibility of being scored on. You don't want to block with your ribs either. It's probably worse than even the face, because you hurt your ribs and you're in trouble. So what you do is you keep your hand here and you go directly towards the target, again, and towards the target. On the angle, whether it's from a traditional stance, you're turning up the body. If you notice my foot, again, is turned into a trigger position. Extremely important. As a matter of fact, just to test it, just play with me for a second. Make believe that I am pitching a ball at you, and what I want you to do is to swing the bat without moving or turning your feet. Ready? Okay, not too much power, right? But what you did was you turned your body like this. You're not going to be able to get any type of power. In order for you to properly get power in your swing, you would have to do like Bruce Lee said, it's all in the hips, and turn your back foot. If you do that, then you will most definitely be able to get maximum potential power. But we still got to hit the target. That's a little later on. Okay, another technique that you can do is, of course, what's called a back fist or back knuckle, where the front hand actually goes towards the person as opposed to the rear hand, what they call a reverse punch. So it can be done again from either a plowing stance, a boxing stance, and or measuring, and even your universal stance. So, on the angle, again, it looks like this. We're here, we lean towards the target, keep the defense, and come back. We switch positions from here, and we go out, again having the defense. We switch positions and go out, again having the defense. We may measure, and again go out. Okay, now, most people throw back like this if they're coming downward. Please don't do that. That's one of the reasons why the sport doesn't look as good as it can. You do not lift your hand. First of all, it makes no sense. If you look at it from the angle, I want to hit that person, so I'm going to reach all the way back here, lift my leg, and go forward. The person will block, which we'll go over in a few minutes. Now, your face has a number of angles. I can go directly towards you. Never thought about that, huh? Directly towards you. Most of us were taught pointing the elbow across. The most popular nowadays, downward, which may come from here into a downward posture. And believe it or not, you might have never thought about it, but you can actually come from here and go under. And under. The final angle will be across. While your fist, your hand is still in the fist as opposed to in a ridge hand. That's a whole different section. Okay, again, and it can be done with either side. So I'm here, I'm in a boxing stance. I throw a back fist directly towards you. Lead hand. I go across, which most of you know this already, across. I go above, and then finally under, and the last finally, across and across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles in the back fist. Regardless of what posture it is, it can all work. I've done it for many years. Practice that for a few minutes, turn the tape back on, and we'll take it to the next level. A, B, C in a few seconds. Okay, good. So now, we've done some footwork. We've worked on our attitude. We did attitude, basics. We're still working on some basics. Some more no-nos. Okay, if you want to hit somebody forward, you don't reach back. We went over that. If you want to go hit somebody across, you do not want to open your hand. This is not any girl fighting. No offense to the ladies out there. But you must close your hand when you're doing this for two reasons. First of all, it's what martial arts is. Second of all, it's because you can hurt yourself otherwise. Okay? So the next thing is we're going to work on some blocks. And the blocks go like so. Someone's going to punch at you, most likely across, so you would push across, not over here, but here. Or you would push across, upward, downward, and the opposite side, downward and downward. You can actually go upward with the rear hand and upward with the rear hand. So again, so let's just review. So you can go across and across, up, down, rear hand up. So 6 angles. Last time. Let's start it from the bottom. Maybe it'll help you. Low, front hand, low, rear hand. Middle, front hand, middle, rear hand. High, front hand, high, rear hand. So if you for some reason can't get out the way with the footwork, then as a last alternative, you would actually want to block. I have a very good friend of mine who's going to help me along with these techniques on how to actually apply them. His name is Mr. Garth Bench. Mr. Bench and I are on the same team as Court Victory. And what we're going to do, plain and simple, is that Mr. Bench is going to do your initial technique in order to block. And this will be a back fist. So he's going to use his front hand, and we're in the guarding stance. He throws a back fist, and I actually block it across with the rear hand. He throws an actual reverse punch. I have an option to either block with that hand. Okay, he throws the back fist towards the top of the head and then block. Now these hands can actually alternate. And same thing, when he throws that back fist, I can either block with the front hand that way, or I can use the rear hand and block. Now, same thing. He throws a reverse punch. I don't want to block with my ribs, of course. This is a no-no. Or I can actually turn my body for the purpose of getting the weapon out the way, or use the front hand. Now, in order for me to block, also, besides that, he comes at me, and I move back to create some space. Then when I go at him, he can actually move back. So this is a good way that you can practice with a partner if you're fortunate enough to have a partner. So he comes at me, he goes to 12 o'clock, I get out of the way, and I go right back. And again, and then go, and then back. If you notice, he is moving his weapon before his body. Common mistake, a big no-no. People lean with their body, lift their head, bring their hand back, and try to go forward. Not a smart thing to do. What you should really do, like Mr. Benz did, is go directly towards the target. Now, you can actually block it by either moving out the way or simultaneously moving back and blocking for the purpose of doing a counter. Okay, but that's getting a little ahead of ourselves. Now, you got another hand technique that comes circular. This hand technique is called the rich hand. Now, we'll do the rich hand going this way first. Okay. Mr. Benz will be back with us in a few seconds. Thank you very much, sir. This is what we're going to do. A rich hand is a technique that hits with the ridge of the hand, meaning this section, the side knuckle, and it goes like so. You use the front hand to stay in the universal posture. You come up and you recoil, as opposed to bringing the hand back, action no-no, and coming across. So if you actually come towards the target and recoil, you will be able to use your bicep muscle in order to hit a number of times. So, again, let's practice this ridge hand. your hand goes towards the target, meaning just to the side of it, and then use your bicep and come back. Or you can use the rear hand towards the target and come back. It can be done towards the body. It can be done towards the face. Now usually in order to make this successful, you're going to have to actually use some footwork. In the next segment, we're going to use some footwork on how to actually close the distance with these basics. So we're going to do lunges, and then finally, the most consistently successful technique of all times, the California Blitz, will be taught in the next segment. Practice what we just did, and we'll be back in a few seconds. AB, see you soon.